Your correct answer is 16x plus 23. We good there?
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, let's take a look.
Okay.
So, keep in mind, this is like 5x to the negative 2 minus 2x to the negative 3. And I would write it this way so I can avoid doing the quotient rule a couple times. Then our derivative, exponent comes down, subtract 1 from the power. Okay, over here, negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6, x to the negative 4. We need the slope, so we plug in negative 1. So this is like negative 10 over negative 1 cubed. 6 over negative 1 to the 4th. So that gives me 10 plus 6, which is 16. So now we know our slope. So now we have, plug into y equals mx plus b. So y equals m times x plus b. So we get b equals 23. So then the equation, y equals 16x plus 23. Is that okay?
Yeah, just have negative.
Oh, that'll do it.
Ooh.
Number 2. Are you okay there? We have to do quotient rule. We need to work it.
I didn't do quotient. Oh, because
You
it's
have
all half.
to.
Wait,
Because the e to the x is on the
I
bottom.
did do quotient rule.
Number 3.
I undivided.
Undivided.
I have 12x e to the x minus 6x squared e to the x.
Oh, you could take out e to the x, 2 e to the x, and then it will simplify.
Yeah.
Is that equivalent, or what did I do?
You lost your denominator for your quotient rule. Over the squared.
Interesting.
Oh, wait.
30?
On
What's that, 3?
Yeah.
Oh, she was done.
I
I
got it.
gotta say.
Alright, is number 3 okay?
Yes.
Number 4. You have negative t squared plus 10t plus 75 over t squared plus 10t plus 25 squared. Do we need to work out any of these?
I was hoping it would cancel.
I got a positive t squared. I don't know.
Okay.
I think you had.
Just
two
drop
squared.
So when you do quotient rule, so that's low, d high, derivative of the top is 1, minus high, d low, derivative of the bottom will be 2t plus 10, over low, squared. So if we multiply the top, same thing times 1 is itself, minus, if we FOIL, plus 10t minus 10t cancels. That's 50. And if we distribute this negative, positive t squared and negative 2t squared is negative t squared, plus 10t and 25 plus 50 is 75.
This negative is.
I did it, my answer had a negative, I just didn't realize how I
Oh,
got there.
okay.
My work didn't have a negative in it.
Gotcha. Number 5, I want to go over because I know there were a lot of questions on it yesterday. There's really 2 different ways you can do it. You can do quotient rule twice, and if you do that, your answer will be like negative 1 over x plus 2 squared plus 1 over x minus 2 squared. Or you can get a common denominator and put them together. And I don't remember off the top of my head what that is. But do you want me to get it do you want me to work it individually or together? What did you guys do? Common denominator. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, so we take this one times x minus 2 on top and bottom. And this one times x plus 2 on top and bottom. So my function is x minus 2 over x squared minus 4 minus x plus 2 over x squared minus 4. I did notice a couple of you yesterday not distributing that negative, which caused some problems. So positive x and negative x cancel. Negative 2 and negative 2 is negative 4 over x squared minus 4. Please label when you do our derivative. So now we're doing the derivative. Do not, by any means, say equals and then put the derivative there. This equation is not equal to its derivative. They are different things.
Yes, ma'am.
She
So-
looked directly at me.
I've looked at a lot of people. I made eye contact with several people. So,
I didn't do it.
I actually did write it on that one. too.
derivative. Low, d high. Derivative of the top is 0. Minus high, d low. Derivative of the bottom
2x.
over low, d squared. So we get 8x over x squared minus 4.
Not negative either?
No, because it's minus and negative
Interesting.
makes it positive.
Oh, I drew my denominator line right through my negative.
Oh, that would do it.
I couldn't see it.
Number 6, you have a choice. You can do product rule and then multiply out your answer, or you can multiply first and then you don't have to do product rule. Either way, you should get 15x to the 4th plus 15x squared plus 6x minus 2. Is that okay?
Oh,
We
yeah.
could have foiled that first.
Yep, you could if you wanted to.
That looks like a lot of work.
Can we do
That's
that with
terrible.
most things?
If it's just powers of x, yes. If you start having radicals or e to the x's, you cannot.
I said it was terrible, but I did that too.
Number 7, I would 100% simplify this first. You don't have to, you could do the derivative. But if you multiply it out first, it becomes a very easy problem because you get 40x to the 9th minus 35x to the negative 2. And then label your derivative. So we get 360x to the 8th plus 70x to the negative 3. So if you simplify it first, it's a little bit easier than product rule, but doesn't require it. Number 8, you can do quotient rule, or could we simplify this one first
Oh,
if you wanted to?
yeah.
Yeah, so you have multiple choices. Because it's just one term on the bottom, you could think this means each one over 3x cubed. So if you chose to do it that way, you certainly could. So it's just up to you. So if you did that, it's like 8/3 x to the negative 3 minus 5/3 x minus 1/3 x to the negative 1. And then if you do your derivative, you get negative 8x to the negative 4 minus 5/3 plus 1/3 x to the negative 2. Didn't anyone do it that way?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I did it.
If you didn't, then you do quotient rule. Low. D high, derivative of the top is negative 20x cubed
It's so much easier than quotient rule.
2x
I'm gonna disagree.
minus
What's too complicated?
Dude, it's not that hard.
high.
Good for you, Chris.
8 minus 5 x to the 4th minus x squared times 9x squared.
D low is 9x squared. Over, if you're doing quotient rule, do not forget your denominator, low squared. So if you do that, then we multiply it all out, so we get negative 60x to the 6th minus 6x to the 4th. Can I distribute my negative and my 9x squared? Minus 72x squared plus 45x to the 6th plus 9x to the 4th. Over, if you square the bottom, that's 9x to the 6th. Combine like terms. What can you take out of everything?
X.
Squared.
X squared
3x squared.
and a 3. So if I divide each thing by 3x squared, I get negative 5x to the 4th.
Wow,
That looks like
that's
a
pretty.
4.
Big.
To the 7th minus 24 over 3x to the 4th.
Oh, that's a 7.
different options. For him.
I don't know where I got a 2 from there.
I thought 3x to the 4th instead of 3x to the 4th.
It's the four like messed up like the other one.
Yeah, I don't know why it
Um,
keeps.
Just a terrible
Is it
4.
fine if we just did like we did division from the -15x over the 9x?
Yeah, I had a 2.
Because I divided and then got a
Is that
fraction.
supposed to be?
Hold on. That was a 4. All my 4s, for whatever reason, this keeps closing them.
Oh,
So that would be it.
I was
2.
like, where did I mess
No,
up?
because I thought my 4 was a 9 when I looked at that. Okay, so what were you saying?
Like when we got to -15x.
Oh, yes, break it apart in each one of the denominator. Sure. So there are like 3 different ways of doing this problem.
would you take off points if we just ended up like that on the board?
If you ended here, no. If you stopped here, I would take off a point for not reducing, just because everything can be divided by 3x.
No, man,
Oh,
I
yeah,
just like
yeah.
have to know in my brain to do that.
Yep.
Would you divide the denominator by 3x squared
Yes.
too?
Number 9, I know I helped a lot of you yesterday writing this with negative powers, and so I think that helped a lot. Do I need to work this one out?
No.
Okay, it's like negative z to the -2 plus 6z to the -3 minus 12z to the -4 plus 25 z to the -6.
Yeah, well, maybe I got 100Z.
No.
No.
So
That's my bad. We just keep moving.
just make sure if you have a problem like this, rather than doing the quotient rule repeatedly, bring those z's up with a negative power.
I think it's because I didn't use a calculator when I
And
did stuff. I just started.
Then you can do each individual term using just our power rule. Alright, number 10, again, I would rewrite it so we don't have to use any special rules. We have a 3x squared. A square root is like what power? 7 over the square root of x would be 7x to the, so the derivative would be 6x minus 1/2 x to the -1/2 minus 7/2 x to the -3/2. Alright, are we doing okay? Number 11, you do have to be careful because we have more than one x. So we have to do,
Yeah.
not really square, but that's okay. Product rule. So derivative of the first times the second plus the first one. Derivative of the second. What's the derivative of sine?
Cosine.
So we just get sine x plus x cosine x. 12, again. Product rule. Derivative of the first. So 15t squared times the second plus the first.
For some reason I thought you wrote second.
Oh.
Like I was like, oh okay.
Derivative of the second. What's the derivative of secant?
Oh, tangent.
Tangent. Secant t, tangent t. So make sure you review those trig derivatives. They will all be on your test. 13. Again, product rule. Label when you do your derivative. So derivative of the first times the second plus the first. Derivative of the second. What's the derivative of cosecant?
Negative
Cosecant
cosecant.
with negative.
So remember, all the cos have a negative derivative. So we just get 3x squared cosecant x minus x cubed secant x cotangent x.
So is like all the ones that are not just like 30%, they include themselves plus tangent or cotangent? Besides
Secant and cosecant do.
Yeah.
Tangent and cotangent do. So sine and cosine, their derivatives are just a single trig function. Derivative of sine is cosine, cosine is negative sine. Tangent and cotangent are similar. Derivative of tangent is secant squared. So cotangent is negative cosecant squared. Secant and cosecant are similar. So derivative of secant is secant tangent. Cosecant, negative cosecant cotangent.
Okay, so it only goes to.
C.
Okay.
No one knows like I'm 3.
That's how I know that.
14. Why don't we go ahead and work this one out?
That was on board.
Oh, see, we need to. That's why I said we were gonna work it out. Totally was paying attention.
It's alright.
Okay, so quotient rule. Low, so 2 minus cosine x. D high, derivative of tangent, minus high. D low, so derivative of 2 is 0, minus the derivative of cosine is negative sign, so minus and negative makes positives. Okay, as far as simplifying this, you could get into trig identities if you wanted. At the very least, we need to distribute, so we get 2 secant squared x minus, I did simplify a little bit on mine, I'll show you in a second.
I'm intrigued to see how you did that.
Okay, so is everybody okay here?
Are you okay with me?
I would accept this. The only term I did differently was this middle one. We have cosine times, what is secant?
Oh, it's 1
1 over.
over cosine. I did that too.
So we can cancel one of those, it leaves us with a 1 over cosine, which is secant. So if you looked at my answer key, I just had a minus secant x right there, which is how I got it. On this, I would take either.
Does it matter if we put sin x first or
Nope, multiplication order doesn't matter. Is that one okay?
Oh, yeah.
15 and 16, we're again doing quotient rules. Would you like me to work those out?
No, it's okay.
Do I need to at least give you the correct answers, or you just verify? Okay. 15. You should get negative 7x squared cosecant squared x plus 35 cosecant squared x minus 14x cotangent x.
What did I do? Dude, I just like spawned in a sign.
/ sign.
Cosecant squared equals sine.
Okay. Do I need to work that out?
No.
/ x.
16.
She's ready.
She
Yeah,
what
no,
she
I-
wants
I
to work it out.
understand, I
She
understand.
will be working it out.
I'm
Yeah.
tempted.
I will
was
say I
wondering
did this
why we
one
weren't combining
not
like
correctly.
terms and then
16.
Oh, because I didn't do the property.
cosine squared plus
Yeah.
sine squared x.
Okay, let's look at this one. So, quotient rule. Low. D high. Derivative of sine
Cosine.
minus high. D low. Derivative of 4 is 0 plus derivative of cosine negative sine over low squared. So if we distribute, we get 4 cosine x plus cosine squared x plus sine squared x over 4 plus cosine x squared. So the only thing I've asked that if you see this, what is cosine squared plus sine squared equal to?
1.
1. And that's how I got to my answer.
Once I saw the one, I realized how you did it. But you know.
So anytime you have a sine squared plus a cosine squared, that is equal to 1. That is my favorite trig identity. Very useful. It is.
Very nice.
You
So
will
useful.
love it.
I do love it. I mean, I love it already.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, do I need to work out anything else there? Okay. Number 17, you should get 69.
Yep.
Yep.
Shoulder.
So I don't need to work that one out.
Oh.
Number 18. I got e to the x, 3x cubed plus 14x squared plus 3x minus 6. Do I need to work that out?
Minus 6.
Wait.
Okay, let's work that out.
I don't want to.
Are we gonna be any of the ones that are gonna use like the, property of like sin x over x equals?
The limit ones, no, I'm probably not going to put one of these on the test.
Thank you.
What did I
Alright.
Oh, I just missed that 7. Oh.
So, first derivative, product rule. Derivative of the first, so 9x squared minus 8x plus 1 times the second plus the first times derivative of the second. Derivative of e to the x is
Idiots.
e to the x. Now, what I chose to do, everything has an e to the x, so I took it out because I have to do a second derivative here. Now, if we take that out, we're left with all of this stuff.
All this stuff.
So, if we simplify that, we have a 3x cubed, we have a, is that drop an x squared?
No, it's 4x
Oh, yep.
squared.
We've got 5x squared, we have a minus 7x and a plus 1. So that's my first derivative. Now, please label, we are doing the second. So, we have it set up to do a product rule. Derivative of the first, derivative of e to the x is still e to the x, times the second, plus the first, derivative of the second. So that would be 9x squared plus 10x minus 7. So again, we could take out the e to the x and then combine like terms. So we have 3x cubed. We have 5x squared and 9x squared would be 14x squared. We have negative 7x and positive 10x is positive 3x.
Minus 6.
And 1 minus 7 is negative 6.
I just missed the negative 7
Oh,
in my thing.
that would do it. Number 19, it should be 46 meters per second squared. Do I need to work that one out?
No, do you need me to
There's no vector.
That would be helpful.
Is the second the one with the square?
Mhm. Velocity is just meters per second. Acceleration, we square that.
Is dirt to the third.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's look at the next few. Problem 20. So this is asking you to write a sentence. 10 is the R in this case, which is
Percent.
the percent. So we know it is 10%. 1,200, it's not the cost.
Oh.
It's the interest.
No.
Increase in cost.
Yes. Why is the cost? A derivative is telling us the rate of change. So it's saying when the rate is 10%. Why is the cost? So, but it's not telling me what my cost is. It's saying the cost is increasing or decreasing.
Increase.
And how do we know?
Possible.
Because it's positive.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh, I got it.
increasing by $1,200. So if it were negative, we'd be decreasing.
I wrote two different answers and both of them were wrong.
You should be able to tell me the meaning of a derivative. This would be a great multiple choice question. Key thing. It is telling us how a rate of change. Derivative is a rate of change. 21 and 22. A couple of you didn't do those, so let's talk about it. If I want you to draw a derivative, that's the slope of the tangent line. Anywhere we have a maximum or minimum, what's our tangent line? Okay, so I know these places, my derivative will equal 0. If before that, my graph is rising, so that means my derivative is
Above the x-axis.
positive. Then my graph is falling, so the derivative is negative. We have to come back and hit our point.
That undid so weird. It like had a delay.
Then it was rising, so positive, have to hit our point, and then it's falling, so negative.
These always confuse me.
We are going to be working with them more in chapter 4.
Yours
and
has
getting better.
colors.
I just kind of guess.
You should be able to find your zeros and then increasing and decreasing. 22 I know is a little hard to look at on your paper. Color helps. So in general, we're trying to find the original, the first derivative, second derivative. Right now, if I gave you these, it would probably be polynomials. And in general, we know when we do the derivatives of polynomials, what happens?
It's
Simulated.
Nicer. So try to find the one with the most curves to start with. Which one has the most curves? Green. So let's start there. So it had a maximum here, which means its derivative is 0. It had a minimum, so derivative is maximum, so derivative is. It was increasing, so derivative is positive. Then it was falling, so it'd be negative. Then it was rising, so.
We just did one just like that.
So if we know the green has to come first, and then its derivative is the blue one. Okay, let's see where red goes. It's either the beginning or the end. So let's talk about our blue one.
That's purple.
So here we have a low point, so the derivative is 0. Here we have a high point, so derivative is okay. Decreasing, so derivative should be negative. Increasing, so derivative was positive. Decreasing, negative. So the red one has to come last. So my green, and those boxes may not be helpful, you can move them, but the green is the original. The blue is your first derivative.
You wanted the map before that?
With the apostrophes.
Yeah, with like the f of x, f of.
I mean, as long as you label them.
I just did 1, 2, 3.
Well, how do I know? You need to tell me like 1 is the original, 2 is the first derivative.
Well,
Second derivative.
Original first.
so like,
Yeah.
That's what I did.
1 is the original
I did it like
G.
I don't ever label it in there for you.
Yeah, you're number 1.
All right.
At x equals -1, right?
Oh,
So
it's
negative
1.
1. Where else?
0.
I forgot about
And-
that.
There's
Wait.
one more.
Oh, I know what it is.
-2.
It's -2.
There are
Because it's a
3
line.
things that make a derivative not exist. A discontinuity, or you could say a break in the graph. So if you have a break in your graph or a discontinuity, there is no derivative. What's happening at 0 that causes a problem?
Sharp point.
Yeah, if you have a corner or a sharp point, there's no derivative. And the third thing that makes there not be a derivative is
An
a
asymptote.
vertical
Slope.
Tangent line.
The tangent line right here, because this graph fell so far, or so quickly, the tangent line would be vertical.
I would be so
Slope of a vertical line is
Oh.
undefined, so
I
your
was-
derivative is undefined.
So we
Say
said
we
negative.
said for x equals -1 that the limit doesn't exist.
That's what I did. But I don't think I forgot.
Yeah, that
I
would
forgot
be.
what that
And
was.
we said -2, but I totally said -3 in my head, and I was like, why are we not moving on? I did not do 24 right.
Dance, I gotta go there.
No, it's like that before games. Yeah.
I get out of school, I get out of the purple at 3:12.
Well, do it faster.
I got there at 3:14.
How long like accidents and stuff?
You're over there?
I'll wait.
And it's a half hour. Yeah, but I'm at the line.
Put it out on your screen.
So,
joking.
for
Definitely
the-
quicker than you.
I don't even know what game it was at this point. The game when we played Clark. And Cooper went to grab my car. My car and got his drink. And I said, "Give me this." And he texted me like, "I'm getting it right now." I was like, "Sorry, they're closed now." But I was like, "I'm going to literally come." He got in my car and started trying to make jokes with me, and I was like, "There should be money on my back."
All right. The last two. These ask you to do the definition. If I tell you to do definition and you just do product rule, quotient rule, or shortcut, you don't get credit. You can do that to check yourself. But if I say the definition, this is what we talked about yesterday.
As h approaches 0.
Limit
Yeah.
h approaches 0, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So, limit h approaches 0. First, we go to our equation. We are replacing our x's with x plus h. So that would be 3 plus, can I write this as 2x plus 2h? Does that confuse you?
No.
So I just replaced this x right here and distributed my 2. Minus f of x
This is 0.
all over h. Why can't I do my limit yet?
You don't have to or because h will make it.
I'm getting a 0 still. Okay,
Multiply that one over each.
so this is like h over 1.
Hey, wait, you're so smart. I could not figure out why I couldn't get rid of this h.
So we can flip and multiply. We also need to get a common denominator. So I'm going to take this one times 3 plus 2x on top and bottom. And this one times 3 plus 2x
Plus 2h.
plus 2h on top and bottom. So that gives 12 plus 8x. Can I go ahead and write this as one big fraction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the 3 plus 2x plus 2h and the 3 plus 2x. So we have this minus 12 plus 8x plus 8h.
Shouldn't it be -3?
I'm not there yet.
Oh my.
Times, if we flip and multiply, that's 1 over h. If we distribute this negative, then we get the limit h approaches 0. Positive 12 and negative 12 cancel, 8x, negative 8x cancel. So we have negative 8h over notice I'm still writing my limit because I haven't done it yet. Now I can cancel the h, and that got rid of my problem. So now we can plug in 0 for all of our h's. So we get negative 8 over 3 plus 2x plus 0, and 3 plus 2x, or negative 8 over 3 plus 2x.
Square.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful, amazing.
Alright. 25. If I want the definition of derivative, so we have to do the limit, as h approaches 0. F of x plus h says you are replacing these x's with x plus h. Minus f of x, so it's just the original. All over h. So can I FOIL and distribute my 3?
Yes.
So that would give me 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared.
Yep.
Distribute the negative 4, so minus 4x minus 4h. Distribute our negative 3, or a negative through this one, so negative 3x squared plus 4x.
Cancel.
This was 4.
Cancel. Okay, so what we see is that everything left has an h in it, so you could essentially take that out. So then my h's drop. Plug in 0 for your h, you get 6x plus 0 minus 4, or 6x minus
Is it fine if we just divided it by each
4.
straight?
I don't know where I started dividing by stuff that's not there. It's
Wanted to make it harder. All right. Any other questions? We have a few minutes left. Anything else you want me to go over? 10 minutes?
I think you should just like give us a
What about one columns on the board?
Yeah, actually just take the question off of the tab.
Send
just-
Carson up there.
Yeah, can we make Carson do it for our amusement?
All right. Real quick, check to see if you know the derivatives of all 6 trig functions. Write them down.
I
Don't
know
scream
the
them out.
derivatives.
It's
Oh, I'm locked in. Don't worry, guys. I can go up there. I'll write them all